We have our Minister of Defense, Anita Anand, as our special guest today. She's quite busy. She was in Brampton today regarding some very, very important announcement regarding electrical vehicle chargers. First of all, we will welcome her, then we'll talk to her about today's announcement and recently a budget which was presented by our Minister of Finance, Chrystia Freeland. Anita ji, welcome to Parvasi TV, Parvasi Media Group.
Thank you so much for having me. It's wonderful to be here with everybody, and namaste.
Okay. Tell us, first of all, more information about your visit to Brampton and announcement there.
I was very happy to be in Brampton this morning with my parliamentary colleagues and members of parliament, Shafkat Ali and Sonia Sidhu, Ruby Sahota, Maninder Sidhu. We were missing Kamal Khera, but of course we all work very closely together in parliament. And we were announcing a federal investment of $445,000 to build 80 new charging stations. And we're very, very excited to be able to re-up our commitment to environmental protection and the reduction of carbon emissions across the country.
Okay, we have seen that in Europe, purchase of electrical vehicle is quite high as compared to Canada. 1 in every 10 cars is electric car at the moment. Federal government wants people to buy more and more cars, but of course we understand that electrical vehicle charging will be playing very, very significant role in that. So overall, the government is committed for the to reduce the green, the emissions. So anything else you want to add on this?
Most definitely. Our government has taken a consistent approach to reducing carbon emissions. And one of the initiatives that we are pleased to renew in Budget 2022 relates to electric vehicles and the purchase of those vehicles. And our government provides up to $5,000 off of the purchases of those vehicles. And so that is going to be renewed in Budget 2022 to make it more easy for Canadians to purchase these vehicles. And by the same token, part of the announcement today in Brampton was to ensure that we have charging stations that are available as Canadians buy these electric vehicles.
Okay. And there is another very important news we are getting today that Canada has put more sanctions on Russia and particularly related to your defense department. Can you tell us more about that?
Yes, today Minister Joly announced that we are imposing sanctions on 33 organizations in the defense industry in Russia. This, of course, is on top of numerous other sanctions that Canada and our allies have imposed across a number of sectors in Russia, including politicians, Vladimir Putin himself, his family, and we will continue to ensure that we are acting in lockstep with our allies in imposing sanctions. But sanctions are just one aspect of Canada's response. We are providing humanitarian aid, we are providing economic aid, and we've announced over $110 million of military aid as well.
Okay, Prime Minister has been to Europe recently a couple of times. Minister Joly is already there many times. Canada is playing its very, very crucial, important role as far as NATO countries are concerned. So far, how you will describe Canada's role in this ongoing Russia and Ukraine conflict?
Canada has been on the ground in Ukraine since 2015. The Canadian Armed Forces have trained over 33,000 members of the Ukrainian Army, including 2,000 members of the Ukrainian National Guard. And because of our efforts since 2015, and in addition to the military and other aid that we've provided, Canada is seen as a leader in terms of the response to Ukraine. Jens Stoltenberg, the Secretary General of the NATO alliance, continuously stresses Canada's important role. I am in constant contact with my counterpart, Alexei Resnikov, and we will continue to do whatever we can to support Ukraine and its security, stability, and sovereignty throughout this crisis.
Okay. Nidali, when we spoke last time, you had just taken the charge as Minister of Defense. So switching from Minister of Procurement to Minister of Defense, and as I said last time too, we have hardly seen a female defense minister in Canadian history. So far, how are you liking this new assignment, new responsibility?
Well, thank you for the question. It is a very large challenge, and I am honored that the Prime Minister chose me to fill this role. I am working every day to ensure that we are launching our best response for the assistance to Ukraine. As well, we are working very hard on cultural change in the military. We are working very hard on our procurements, and there is no shortage of work for us to be focused on. I'm very determined and very honored, as I said, to continue to serve our government and Canadians in this role.
Okay, now let's come back to budget. Minister Freeland presented a very, very historical budget last week, and there are many, many big announcements on that. First of all, any big announcement regarding to your own Department of Defense before we move on to others?
Our budget last week is focused on affordability, environmental protection, and economic growth. And in addition, we committed $8 billion of additional spending in defense.
Okay.
That is on top of the 70% increase in defense spending that we will see anyway over the 9-year period beginning in 2017.
Okay, and anything, we spoke to Minister Hussain, we spoke to Minister Al Gabra after the announcement of the budget. You would like to add anything regarding this budget?
Well, I will just say that the focus on affordability and economic growth is very important. This is a budget in which financial prudence is a priority for our government. At the same time, we are investing $10 billion to make it easier for young Canadians to buy a home and to lessen the tax burden for small businesses, which I know is important in an area like Brampton, where you do have so many small businesses.
Yeah. Okay, another important thing is that very rarely we have seen such kind of a good relationship between the federal and provincial government. We have a PC government in Ontario. We have Liberal government at the central level, at the federal level. But so far, we're seeing quite understanding, smooth relationship between both the government. Many big decisions like childcare benefit and today's announcement. So many things that are doing together, and it's working well for Ontarians, working well for Canadians.
Well, our view is that we need to work together to ensure that we are serving Canadians. That's the most important thing through COVID, and in addition, moving forward through crises like the war in Ukraine. The reality is that we as a country are facing the greatest security threat that we have seen in a generation, and we need to work together through these crises to ensure that we are delivering for Canadians and to ensure that our country is safe and secure.
Okay. Now we are in a phase where we are having fourth shots, another second booster shot. You are running here and there and working very hard to procure as many as vaccines for Canadians. I'm sure you must be happy to see the result now.
Well, I believe that one of the most important priorities that we have as a government is to do whatever we can to keep Canadians safe. And we procured millions of vaccines in order to have access to the best technology as fast as possible. And indeed, we were able to do that. At the same time, we need to be cognizant of public health advice. It's not enough just to have procured the vaccines. They're available for Canadians to take on the advice of public health guidelines. And for that reason, I have had my 3 shots, as have my family, and we'll continue to follow public health advice in that regard.
Okay, Anita, this is April month, a month of Sikh heritage. To celebrate that, and we are having Vaisakhi very soon, one of the biggest festivals for Indians and Punjabis. Ramadan is there, Easter is coming up. So Canada is a diverse country. We all know that, in true sense, a multicultural country, and we're proud to embrace people from all over the world here. So anything you want to give message to our listeners, our readers, viewers during this time?
I would like to wish everybody a very happy Vaisakhi, a very happy Easter, Ramadan Mubarak, and generally reiterate your point that how fortunate are we to live in a country where we can celebrate our individual holidays and traditions, and to celebrate with our families and our loved ones in a diverse and multicultural community that we know and love so much.
Thank you, Anita.
Yes. Dhanyavad as
you
well.
You would like to add anything at the end which I didn't ask you? Any important issue you want to share with us?
I wish you all the very best of health, as well as your watchers, and I look forward to joining you again. And until then, happiest Vaisakhi and Ramadan Mubarak to everybody, and congratulations on your upcoming 20th anniversary.
Well, thank you so much. We will be welcoming you, eagerly waiting for you. You have promised to us many a time that will be in person to your studio. So let's wait for that day. Thank you so much, Anita ji.
Namaste ji.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.